Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the South Korean model today. I've had an update from the Korean model for the next month, so taking us from late March to around the middle of April. I think it's broken down into 10-day periods, so the first 10-day period will be something like the 20th to the 30th of March, and then going on through April. Also going to have a look at the CFS model, see what that's showing for April, and then we'll have a look at the latest GFS run, the 6 o'clock run. It's showing that high pressure probably going to break down in around a week's time, a week or so's time. You'll probably see cooler, more unsettled weather extending from northwest. Have a look at that at the end of the video. Now, before I get on with the video, just want to mention the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at gazworthies.com. If you press play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazworthies.com. Thanks very much for doing that. My eyes are still a bit sore today, so I've got the camera turned off. The microphone is turned on. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So starting off with the South Korean model, I say this is broken down into 10-day periods, I think. So the first 10-day period for late March, probably taking us from around the 20th to the 30th of March. It's seeing average below average sea level pressure up to the north of the country, above average sea level pressure down to the south and the southwest of the country. So we've got high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, running the jet stream in, something like that through the Atlantic. So it's more unsettled up to the north and the west. It's less unsettled down to the south and the southeast, but nowhere would be completely settled with that. We would bring cloud and rain down across country at times. Just Scotland and Northern Ireland would tend to get the worst of it through late March. Temperatures probably near normal, although the area is probably coming from a fairly northerly point in the Atlantic, so it could be reasonably cold, particularly up in the north. Now the next period is for early April, which again presumably takes us from around the 1st to the 10th of April, something like that. I'm meant to see the red colour setting up right over the top of the country, so it's seeing high pressure coming back for early April. Low pressure is down to the south. That's a good anomaly for April. It's fine, mainly settled and dry through the course of the start of April. Could be chilly by night with some overnight frost, but by day it would be very pleasant indeed, with temperatures probably a little bit above the seasonal average. And as we move through to the middle of April, it's seeing quite a big change taking place. Then we send the high pressure, the above average heights, the red colours go up to the north, up towards Greenland. We set this trough of low pressure up around the British Isles. The jet stream is going something like, that's a bit wrong, let's do it again. The jet stream is going something like that around the trough, so on the cold side of the jet and the cold trough of low pressure. That's unsettled and pretty cold for the middle of April. That's probably from around the 10th to the 20th of April, something like that. So going up towards the Easter period actually could be very unsettled if that's right. That's a deep trough part right over the top of the country. That looks pretty grim at the middle of April, I have to say, but that's some way off. And the last update from the South Korean model showed that sort of pattern for early April. It's been put back to the next 10-day period, so it's not getting any closer. It may well be, but it never actually verifies. We'll have to wait and see. But the fact that it's been put back from early April to middle April does imply that it's not really getting much closer. The CFS anomaly, a 500 millibar height anomaly for April, looking like this morning. Again, it's the same idea from the CFS model. We've got the yellow and orange colours up over Greenland and Iceland. We've got the blue colours over and to the south and to the southeast of the British Isles. Again, it's the same idea. This is cropping up day after day now from the CFS model, with a blocking area of high pressure up to the north, a cold trough of low pressure underneath it. The jet stream is running through the Atlantic, something like that, splitting around that trough and the ridge. So on the cold side of the jet, once again, we're under a trough of low pressure, and we've got a blocking area of high pressure around Greenland and Iceland. If that's right, we're expecting a lot of northerly and northeasterly influences as an anomaly through the course of April. CFS is consistently showing this on these 500 millibar height anomalies now, so it does pose some concerns for April that we could get a late sort of cold and unsettled snap. It's not a very good anomaly at all. And when you put it with the South Korean model, what it's like that's showing for the middle of April, maybe it does back up the idea that although April may start off fine, things will deteriorate. It'll become increasingly cold and unsettled. We will have to keep an eye on it. That CFS anomalies from the website website, weatherweb.net, by the way. You can find the link to WeatherWeb on my links page. Just have a look at the nearer time frame. We're under high pressure now. It's a very warm day, superb afternoon for England West. We can see temperatures maxing out somewhere around 18, possibly 19 degrees in London today, into the mid-60s Fahrenheit. Do get out and enjoy it and make the most of it. We've got several days of fine weather to come. Here's the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles, the red line here, where we should be at this time of year. We're way above the red line today. We're going to stay above for the rest of the week. No precipitation spikes to speak of through the coming week either. So when we get beyond the 15th of March, which is just here, that we start to see the members of the ensemble, temperature ensemble, beginning to dip down. And there is a cooling trend going on there in the second half of the month, so that by the time we get through to around the 20th, 21st of March, we're actually going cooler than average in terms of those ensembles. So it does imply about over the next week or so it's going to be warm and dry. Things are really going to change in the second half of the month, so do make the most of the coming week. Also, the precipitation spikes start to come back later on in the ensemble as well, so it turns more unsettled. And the generic GFS is seeing this morning at the 6 o'clock run. Shows up to next weekend. We keep high pressure over the country as we chart for Sunday the 16th of March. As we go beyond that, we start to take the high pressure out to west, we begin to retrogress it out into the Atlantic, and eventually we start to pull down this much colder northwesterly or northerly wind. So by the time we get through today, 10 Wednesday the 19th, we're firmly in a cold northerly wind. That could be bringing snow showers to the north and the east of the country. There will be hard overnight frost probable with that as well. Here's the upper air temperatures showing that. Well, the -5 isotherm is clearing the whole of the country and bringing -10 850 HPA air down into Scotland and Northern England. That's as cold as it's been at any point, or colder I should say, colder than it's been at any point through the coming winter, or through the previous winter, I should say. So, yeah, it looks as though we're going to keep high pressure for the next week. Then we may well bring down a colder northwesterly flow. More uncertain, it could get really quite cold if that northerly sets in. It's 10 days away, it's a long way off, and there's not a great deal of support amongst the other models for that, so it's probably over the top. But I do think we're going to break the high pressure down in the second half of March and at least turn it cooler and more unsettled. There is the chance that we could get quite a cold snap if the GFS is right. I mean, of course, we've got those concerns about April. It may start off on a fine note, but things could really go downhill through the course of April. I've been quite concerned about April for quite some time now. Still quite concerned about it, so we'll have to see how it goes. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go out and enjoy the sun. Bye for now.